Hello and welcome to Top Hat Chat live with me, Street, and Orb. Today on the channel, in part 5 of the Great Gaming Debate, we are going to be discussing whether or not we think Tekken is the greatest fighting game franchise of all time.
And it is.
Yeah, see, you're going to be arguing for it is because you think this is easy.
Yes.
You think this is an easy win?
Yes, I really don't see any reason why Tekken will lose this debate. Hence why it's going to be a little bit of a shorter one.
Yeah. And personally, I think that there are a few other games and a few other franchises which I think can stand up to Tekken. And we're going to be discussing a lot of those throughout the next kind of 20 minutes-ish. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, where would you like to start this so I can argue against you, Tekken man? Obviously, you've got your prop, which I dug out from one of my boxes.
Very nice, sleek, black Tekken 3.
Yeah, it is. It's a nice box. Nice
Very
case.
nice. I like it.
Collector's
edition.
Not quite as good as my prop.
I've never seen your prop.
It's just directly behind me here.
That's a big prop.
It is a big prop. This is my Street Fighter. So, yeah. I'm not going to lift this prop. I was going to. I was literally just going to hoof it up over and be like... But
you couldn't.
I probably could, but I'm not going to. And that's the Tekken 3 demo, isn't it? I played that a ton. It's fucking awesome.
It's not the demo. It's the collector's edition.
It says it's a collector's edition. I don't know if it's a demo or not. It could be.
It doesn't say demo. No. It is a demo.
Yeah.
It is a demo.
Yeah. It's very, very nice. But yeah, so props. Better prop.
Yeah, alright. That's not really got anything to do with the game, though, is it?
Better prop. But yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't have anything to do with the game. So where would you like to start on this?
I think we should get probably one of the weaker areas of Tekken out of the way. I still think it wins.
Okay.
I still think it wins
So
handedly.
you're going to go weak. Okay, go.
But I want to build up to the crescendo that is the overwhelming victory that Tekken is going to enjoy.
Go.
The story.
Mm-hmm.
The story for Tekken is different to all of the other ones, in my opinion. Other than maybe Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Right? In the sense of, it's an overarching story. The games actually link together in some sort of, like, chronological order, and the stories carry over. And yeah, they're a little weak at points. But they're kind of exposed in, like, a really cool anime fashion with the cutscenes, and, like, the unlockable movies at the end, and even, like, the movies themselves. But we'll get onto that in a bit. But I just think for the story, in comparison to things like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, I mean, Mortal Kombat is more of a solid story than certainly Street Fighter is, but
Mortal
in my
Kombat
opinion,
has
hands
some
down.
story. Street Fighter, when you play Street Fighter, you don't get a lot of story. It's very loose, but Soul Calibur had a story.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yeah, and it was very, very good.
I don't think it's as good as Tekken's, personally.
It's hard for me to argue against story. And the reason that it's hard for me to argue against story is because Tekken, for some reason, I don't know why they did this, why the developers decided this was going to be the case, but it does get set apart from everything in the fact that the story seems to arc through every single game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only fighter that I can think of that actually has a story arc that continues through, as far as I'm aware, every game.
Yeah.
Which is damn impressive.
Yeah, I think that's a good going.
It's really, really cool when you look at it like that. Unfortunately, it also doesn't matter because people don't generally play fighting games for story.
That's why I wanted to open up with it. Because it's, like I said, it's the weaker aspect of a fighting game comparison, but it still wins even on that weaker aspect. And it will win in every aspect. Because it is the king of fighters.
It's a very, very good
Not the game King of Fighters. But...
No, that's also a very, very good
Yeah, that's very good.
98 was my favourite.
Yeah, 98 is actually very good. I do enjoy that. And there are things like Capcom versus Marvel, which are really fun. And I really enjoyed the recent... I know you don't really like it, but I really enjoyed Jump Force as well.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that when I played it. It was really fun. But I honestly think that storyline-wise, it wins it.
I will happily give you story. I think Tekken wins on story. I do think it has got the best storyline in any fighting game ever. Soul Calibur's is a close second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that's fair. Mortal Kombat third, Street Fighter last. If you're gonna, I mean,
Well,
there's
that's
obviously
just
a
if you
bunch
go
of
for
others.
those
Yeah,
four.
there's a
I'm
bunch
talking
of
about. I'm covering all fighters.
All right.
Somehow, I don't even know most of them. I know most of them. Actually. I know enough. Okay, so what's the next point that we can talk about? Can we talk about music fairly quickly?
Yes, certainly, because I'm very happy to defend this. Now, Street Fighter 2 has some fantastic tracks on it.
Yes, it does.
It really does. Like, everyone knows Guile's theme goes with everything.
Yes, it does.
Ken's theme is fantastic. Ryu's theme is fantastic.
Yes.
It kind of does slow down a bit. Some of the others are really good. I love it, right?
Balrog's theme, Street Fighter 2.
But Tekken, right? Like, things like Tekken 2, like, the background music, like, each character has their own music. And some of them are just the most awesome pieces of, like, Japanese techno. Like, it's like Japanese Euro dance. And some of it's really, really awesome. I love it to pieces, man. Like the Jun music, I think it's Jun Kazawa from Jun from 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Michelle's is really good from 2 as well. Oh, so many good ones. I might have to concede a loss though, because I know how influential Street Fighter 2's music
Street Fighter 2's music is ridiculous. Everybody knows it. It was ported across a ridiculous amount of systems, which we're going to get a bit more into later. But it sounded good on every system it was played on, regardless of limitation.
True.
I mean, I've played Street Fighter 2 on some pretty awful systems, and the music still shines through.
Yeah. No, you're right.
There is not a single version of Street Fighter 2, specifically, that I have played, where the music has not been good.
Not even the Virtual Boy one.
No, we'll get to that. But no, even on that, the music was superb.
So I'm happy to concede it. But personally, I really, really enjoyed
It's
the
very
Tekken
good.
soundtrack.
The Tekken soundtrack is very, very good. And when you started comparing it to like the Eurodance stuff, like I was like, actually, yeah, no, I see it, yeah, no, and I can see where it's got some appeal, but it just hasn't got that super stuck in your head. Where if I said to you now to hum some of the music, like a specific track, you'd be like, oh, I'm not really sure. If I said do the start theme from Street Fighter 2. See, that's why you can't win music. That is the reason.
Right. Yeah, no,
I think we can happily take one apiece there. One going to everything else.
Cool.
And one going to Tekken.
Cool.
I mean, bear in mind we touched on it briefly. Variety in the amount of systems, the amount of ways that you can play.
Right. Yeah, variety. I mean, if we're going to talk about variety, are we just talking about the console, how far it's been ported? Or are we going to talk about, like, the games that have been released in that series?
We can do both.
Because if we're talking about mainly the games that have been released in that series,
yes,
Tekken blows Street Fighter out of the water, and probably Mortal Kombat 2.
Okay,
right.
Argue.
Tekken 1 was the first, in my opinion, Tekken 1 was the first, and this probably could come under Impact, was the first 3D fighter that felt good to play. Like, Virtua Fighter was floaty and weird, and there was a few others that were knocking about that were floaty and weird. That was the first one that felt good to play. Tekken 2 was a lovely step up in terms of, like, character and scope of moves. But Tekken 3 is, like, the pinnacle of 3D fighting games from that generation. There is not a single one that was better, that was ever better than that, right? And then not only were they not content with smashing the PS1 record, with the PS2, the first Tekken that come out on the PS2 was Tekken Tag Tournament, which is, in my opinion, the single best tournament fighter out there today. It is the best, right?
Yeah, no, hold on. No.
It's just in my opinion, it is the absolute best.
I can't think of another one that's better. Can you think of anything that's close?
Soul Calibur has a lot of fans, and I do enjoy Soul Calibur.
Yeah, Soul Calibur is very good.
Street Fighter 4 and 5 have a lot of fans, and I do get it. But they're 2D fighters. 3D fighters are as good as Tekken. Not really. Like, Soul Calibur. Dead or Alive, maybe, but I'm not a fan.
Dead or Alive is very, very good. Do you know the thing that puts me off? Most people are drawn to it specifically because of this, but it puts me off.
What?
The ridiculous booby physics.
In what, Dead or Alive?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very of its culture, isn't it?
It is.
It doesn't
And
translate
it puts
well
me
sometimes.
off. It does put me off.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I feel like they put more effort into their booby physics than the actual game a lot of the time.
It does seem like that at points, doesn't it? I mean, with variety as well, we could talk about sort of the variety in the game, like game modes. Now, Mortal Kombat has like sort of a love-hate affair with its variety. Some of it's really, I enjoyed it. I think it was Deadly Alliance or Annihilation. I can't remember which one. But there's like a story mode where you're travelling on the different planes of Outworld and stuff.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed it. It was just kind of like a really hastily thrown together exploring part of an RPG thrown in, and then you found a character and then you had a Mortal Kombat fight.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, but that was kind of it for variety. There was a few other little game modes that popped up here and there, but there was nothing that was really awesome.
There was a platformer which was a side game. Can we talk about that?
What? Is that Chronicles of Sub-Zero?
So yeah, Sub-Zero.
Yeah, whatever it is, I can't remember. It's not great.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst games I've ever played. It's terrible.
Street Fighter has even less variety, in my opinion. Like, there's no extra modes. It's just your straight up standard 2D tournament fight. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of games. You could. If we're going to talk about variety, you could say that Street Fighter 2 has the most variety out of everyone because there's about 20 versions of it, which is just ludicrous. But I mean, don't fix what isn't broken.
There's 20 different versions, but not only is there different versions, you can also play it on damn near. It's almost got Doom levels of compatibility. I think within the next few years we'll be playing Street Fighter 2 on a calculator. I think it could be that close. Well,
you can play Doom on a calculator.
That's what I'm saying. It's Doom levels of portability.
Yeah.
Where it is literally on everything. To the point where I have actually played... You've never played it, have you?
What?
Hyper Fighting.
No, I'm not.
No, Top Pack Gamer Man let me have a go of his copy. He's got a game on the Virtual Boy called Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, which is a port of Street Fighter 2 on the Virtual Boy, and it is ridiculously good. But even that sounds good musically. You can play it on everything. I mean, it's got the Switch Anniversary Edition, so you can play it on current systems now. I mean, how many Tekken games can you play on? How many current systems can you play Tekken on?
No, it's a very good point. It's very much of the generation game. It's Xbox and PlayStation, that's it. And its variety offshoots, that's it. PS Vita version or whatever. I totally get that, right? But variety in my opinion for game modes. There's no doubt in my mind that Street Fighter 2 beats it for variety in the sense of you can play it on down near everything.
Oh yeah.
It's just super impressive and it's very good. Mm-hmm. But the variety in the gameplay. Look at Tekken 3, which I think it was Tekken 3 that had Force Mode, which was like Streets of Rage but with Tekken.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I loved it. Some people didn't. I really, really loved it. And then you got Tekken Ball Mode, which was volleyball.
Yeah,
that was super awesome as well. Tekken's mini games felt Tekken Bowling. All of those mini games.
Tekken Bowling was great.
So good to play. They added hours and hours and hours of entertainment.
Yeah.
On top of an already stellar 3D tournament fighter. Variety is Tekken's.
I really want to argue.
It's tough, I know.
Oh, I don't think there is anything. I don't think there is anything.
No, I think Tekken has it for that.
I mean, I could argue Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah, no, very good point.
I'm going for variety. Smash Bros. Melee.
But I almost feel
was ridiculously good, and it had a lot of little side bits to do.
Yeah,
a lot.
But I find the fact that the ball mode and the force mode and the bowling mode were split out over 2-3 games.
Yeah. To
be more impressive than Super Smash Bros. Melee is probably my number 2 fighting game of all time.
Yes.
Behind Tag Tournament. I love Super Smash Bros. Melee. All the mini games are superb. The adventure mode is fantastic.
Yep. I was really upset when Smash Ultimate came out and the mini games were gone.
Well, this is what I mean. Smash since that point, I didn't really play Brawl.
I played a bit of Brawl. I didn't really like it. I felt the physics were a little bit off, and I didn't get to.
It's just not. Smash isn't as consistent as Tekken, or had a consistent run as Tekken.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So
I think variety wins.
I tell you what. I'll tell you what, yeah, you can have it.
Thank you.
You can have it. I mean, I think that Smash Melee, specifically Melee, comes in very, very close to winning because of the mini games and the adventure mode and everything else. But yeah, it's just not right. It's not as good. Tekken was a fully fledged tournament fighter.
Yes.
And it's bolted on some mini games that were good enough almost to be standalone mini games.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I've really. That's what I really think is strong about those Tekken mini games. They're so good.
They were that good. But we also have to talk about the movies because
we got two more.
Street Fighter. I'm going to do movies now.
Okay.
Where would we be if Street Fighter had never have existed? We would have missed out on the definitely Oscar-worthy, although it didn't get one, Street Fighter film.
Right.
It had Kylie Minogue in it.
It is proper meme-worthy. You had the All-American being played by the most Belgian man in existence. You did have a really good turn from Raul.
You had Cammy, played by one of the most Australian people in existence.
Well, yeah.
The British character being played by the Australian, yes.
But you did have Raul Julia playing M. Bison.
Oh, he's damn good.
Who is really good. And obviously Gomez Adams, like, he's a hero. And he was good. And he was dying when he recorded that. Like, legitimately dying. He died like a couple of months after finishing it. And he knew he was dying.
Yeah.
And it's the good level of cheese.
Oh, yeah, it's a masterpiece.
The film is effing terrible. I almost swore. It is terrible. No, it really is. Like, Blanca is just a weird... Like, he looks like he's been drinking too much silver. So he's, like, starting to turn blue instead of green. It was really weird, right? I don't think Tekken can necessarily win the movie discussion. I really enjoyed the Tekken animes that are out there.
Yeah, there are a few.
And they're stronger films than Street Fighter. But Street Fighter doesn't win the movie thing either. Mortal Kombat wins the movie film. Wins the movie category.
I don't think I've ever seen any of the Mortal Kombat.
The Mortal Kombat, the first one, is the most perfectly 90s, cheesy, over-the-top video game adaptation into a film, right? It stays kind of true to its roots. It had Christopher Lambert in it, who was just really weird. And I don't think so. It was really weird, dude. Look at this what is meant to be an ancient Chinese god of thunder is played by Christopher Lambert, which is quite impressive.
Yeah, that's not quite right.
But it has some of my favourite lines from any movies ever. Like, come on, Liu! When Liu Kang's brother is getting killed, and then, your soul is now mine. Shang Tsung. I love it. That bit's brilliant.
I need to watch this now.
It's really good. It's not really good. Do you know what I mean? I love it because it's so cheesy and terrible. But there is a second one as well, which is nowhere near as good. It's just flat out bad.
Okay.
But I do think that is just such... And the theme for that film is one of the most famous themes of all time. It's the Mortal Kombat! Dun 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 dun. That one.
Yeah.
So I think Mortal Kombat wins that one.
Alright, I'll give it to Mortal Kombat, although I haven't seen the films. I will trust your judgment. I think the voices did it.
Do you reckon?
I think the voices did it for me, yeah. Right, okay, so what's the last one?
Characters.
Okay, so, do you really think you're going to win this?
I'm going to give it a go. I'll let you go first.
Well, first of all, Ryu's possibly the most recognisable face in fighting game franchise history. His white suit, red belt and red gloves have transcended fighting games.
True.
Perfect Halloween costume.
Yeah.
He's in Smash.
He is in Smash.
Before Banjo.
True.
Considerably before Banjo. And definitely before Waluigi. Don't die. We still have stuff to record.
I'm okay.
So I think that's the first thing. Then you've got just the sheer looks of the characters and how they can look like how they play. They're designed right. Balrog looks like he should fight like he does.
So did you know? I'm sure everyone watching at home knows this. That they switched the name.
Yes, they did. Yeah, because of the Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
thing.
Mike Bison.
Yeah, it was meant to be M. Bison was supposed to be Balrog, but
and Balrog was. No, Balrog was Vega, I think,
yes.
and Vega was.
Yes.
M. Bison.
They swapped a few.
Yeah. So why didn't you just swap 2? That was weird.
Interesting trivia.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay, right.
Then you have Vega.
Yeah.
Who when you were fighting him through story mode, would jump onto the cage, and you were like, why can't I jump onto the cage? This is unfair.
He is my man. I love Vega.
Like, ridiculously good. And again, it looks like he should be able to do that. And he looks like he should cheat like that.
Yeah.
You have Blanca. Again, looks like he should fight the way that he does.
True.
The designs match how... Yeah, Zangief. The designs of every character in that game look like that's how they should fight.
Sagat is a straight-up Muay Thai.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Chun-Li is super influential as well.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat. The characters look dark. Their designs are great.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero are two of the most iconic fighting characters of all time
There
ever.
we go.
They are absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Tekken has Heihachi Mishima. One of the most recognisable and influential fighters
and hardest to pronounce fighters ever.
Yeah, look, Japan, it really does have that Japan vibe to it.
It does.
Like Tekken, but I think that's what I really like about it, in a way. Like, I was kind of dissing a game last week for being a bit weeb, but I kind of like that weebness about Tekken. Like, I really enjoy it.
You were just fighting against me.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
But come on, like, Tekken has Heihachi Mishima, it has Kazuya Mishima as well, his son, and Jun as well, Jun Kazama. Is also, they're all
and
three.
Again, you know these. I'm fighting for you here, right?
King is iconic.
King is iconic.
Jack is iconic.
But you know these characters' storylines.
Yeah.
That, I think, is important.
True. Like the Mishima storyline.
Like Street Fighter, they've all got vague kind of storyline, but you don't really see any of it. Whereas in Tekken, you do. You learn about these characters through the game.
You do.
And that's impressive.
Yes, again, I can't deny that. Like, Yoshimitsu.
Yeah.
He transcends that game. He appears in other games as well.
Yeah.
Law as well is super influential. Paul Phoenix is proper.
Phoenix is ridiculous.
Like honestly, I think the cast of characters that they bring through in those 3 or 4, certainly the first 3 or 4 Tekken games, is so strong. It's so strong. Like, even like some of the unlockable characters are truly iconic characters.
Yeah.
Like Gon and Jin, Gon and Alex and Roger and all these, like that was the boxing kangaroo.
The names are terrible.
Yeah, those ones were, but the other names are really good. Horowang.
Yeah. Again, yeah. All right. Name's a bit strange. Getting hard to pronounce. Bit Japanese, but yeah.
I can't deny that people like Zangief
Asian,
and Dao Sim. What's wrong with saying Asian?
I'm saying they're quite hard for the Western people to pronounce.
Just put a bit of effort
Sometimes,
into it.
I know.
It don't take nothing to learn it. But like, I can't deny that Zangief is one of my favourite looking fighters and one of my favourite characters in any fighting game. Same thing for Chun-Li. Same thing for, I think Blanca looks amazing.
Yeah.
But I honestly, and you will always associate Ken and Ryu with fighting games.
Yes.
That is it. Like, they are iconic. But I struggle to give it up because against Ken and Ryu, you have King, you have Heihachi Mishima, you have Kazuya Mishima, you have Yoshimitsu, you have Jack. You also have these Eddie Gordo.
Yeah.
The combos alone as well, which we should have mentioned in the gameplay aspect of the Tekken.
Well, we haven't got to gameplay yet,
right,
we'll definitely buzz onto that now.
Yeah.
Because you will lose gameplay.
Look, I get the pick up and play arcade style of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat is very, very, sought after. It's very accessible. It's very easy to play and very hard to master.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
The same could be said for Tekken. And Tekken adds things like juggling. It adds in like 18 button combos. It adds in a lot of movement. That extra dimension of movement to the side and shifting and uppercutting. The gameplay just feels a lot more fun to me. It has a lot more longevity to it.
A lot of children, when Mortal Kombat first came out, I'm going to talk about Mortal Kombat here, never ever got to play it. It was the most controversial game to ever be released up to that point.
True, and I'll give it to you.
It really caused a stir.
The fatalities are amazing.
The fatalities in that game are ridiculous.
Yeah, amazing.
Right? Which were then added on later on with like babalities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
to add a little bit of fun and silliness to the game, which was at the time relatively serious. You had, I mean, that was amazing. That it caused A, that much of a stir, and B, how hard it was to actually do some of those finishing moves.
Yeah.
That took a lot of practice.
True.
And the competition level of Street Fighter, as far as gameplay concerns, it blows Tekken away. Both of them doing those two specific parts of what fighting games are.
I will disagree with you on the fact that Mortal Kombat's fatalities are as clear-cut a winner in that sense, because every character in Tekken has 3 or 4 moves that have the same input length, if not longer, than fatalities. Whereas characters really in the first couple, 3 or 4, Mortal Kombat's only had 2 fatalities. Yeah, they threw in a babality and an animality, but do you know what I mean? These were standard moves. You didn't have, they're not finishing moves, but they're combos that they put in that you can only do with a, if not greater, level of input than a fatality input.
Okay.
The competition scene is a lot stronger in Street Fighter, especially with 4 and 5. Like it's almost it's probably sport level now.
Yes.
Lot of respect to that. But playing with your friends, Tekken Tag Tournament still has it.
You can have it.
In my opinion.
You can have it.
Thank you.
So, if we go through each individual thing that we went through, characters, Tekken, music, Street Fighter,
Yep.
or everything else, the variety of stuff,
Tekken,
with the extra modes and everything, story,
Tekken,
movies,
Mortal
Kombat, so everything else. So, Tekken wins.
I think so. I told you at the start of this video I thought that Tekken would win. I was really confident.
So it's official. On this sofa we have decided Tekken is indeed the greatest fighting game franchise of all time. But of course, as always, we would like your opinion. So if you're watching this, please leave your comments in the comment section below. We will read them and we want to hear your opinions. We genuinely want to hear them.
Yeah.
We want to see the things that we missed.
What do you think is the best fight?
Yeah.
Do you think King of Fighters was the best, or do you think Dead or Alive is actually we underrated it a lot, or even are you a staunch Soul Calibur fan?
Yeah. Or does somebody really want to break down how good Smash is?
Yeah.
And just try and tear us apart on Smash?
Leave us a comment and let us read. We'll be super interested.
Obviously, likes are always appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, give us a subscribe. We do these videos at least every week. And we just try and spark up discussions in a relatively podcast-style format. But right now, we are heading over to twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we are going to be playing Crash Team Racing for the next few hours. I should be able to finish it.
Yeah, hopefully so.
If you haven't got an account on Twitch already, it takes about 30 seconds to make one, and your visitors will be much appreciated.
Yes, it will be indeed. Remember, you can also come and check us out on Instagram. Just search for Top Hat Chat. We also have our Twitter accounts, which are at the bottom of this video. And as I said, go over and you can go and give us a follow on twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat. And we go live at least twice a week, playing a variety of retro and new games. So come along, it's good fun.
Yeah, so we'll see you over there. Catch you next time.